All right, what's up, guys? So, welcome to my music channel, Hit the Note. And in today's video, I wanted to kind of just answer this question, but with my own opinion. I know that there's going to most likely be some Beyonce fans that's going to disagree with what I have to say, but I think it's clear what I am going to say now. But yeah, here's the thing. Maybe now, but the only reason why I would say now is because Michael Jackson, he's not alive to make any more music and stuff. I feel like if he was still alive, I don't feel like the artists, the rankings that they're in right now, they wouldn't be at those rankings. But it's like that with a lot of different artists, because you see where people, they say that I mainly hear it with Tupac. Everybody tries to put themselves in that conversation of Tupac, saying that they're better, or and it's things like that where I'm like, fam, you're talking about somebody that's not here no more. Now, I'm not saying that Beyonce is doing this. I just think that that's the internet, like when the music conversation gets a little stale, then yeah, that's why questions like this gets brought up. And people need to understand, like, look, Beyonce, she's in the league of her own. Michael Jackson, he's in the league of his own. All right. And I feel like maybe at some point in time in Beyonce's career, yeah, they'll make movies of her. They'll, have stuff based off of her and things, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of different artists out there where they can say that they did grow up listening to Beyonce and they got inspired by her and all that stuff. But with Michael Jackson, though, when you look at him in an era that he was a part of, I feel like that, like, I don't know, music has always kind of just been like a, not really a popularity contest, but it has, I will say that it has always been a contest. Michael Jackson at one point in time was the biggest artist in the world. Okay, not like, no, and that's the thing. There's a lot of artists right now that people will put them in that conversation. Beyonce being one of them, but no, during that time frame, Michael Jackson, he was the biggest artist in the world. Okay. Like, I don't know no other artist where, and that's the thing too with Beyonce's music, and there's no disrespect to her music. You don't hear people talking about her music like how they talk about Michael Jackson's music. Like, people still to this day bring up Thriller, and that's like what, a 40 something year old album. And I'm saying, like, there's like some moments, songs and stuff. Well, yeah, songs. Like, I don't know. I guess, like, with me, I'm more of a Michael Jackson fan than a Beyonce fan. Don't get me wrong. I would say that, at one point in time of my life, I did have a little bit of a crush on Beyonce, but that's a different story. All right. But no, like, jokes aside though, no, it was like, her music, it has always been good music. That's one thing that we can't take away from Beyonce. So I guess if somebody says that Beyonce's music is not good, they're flat out lying, but putting in that same conversation or trying to say that it's bigger or better than Michael Jackson's music. No, I did. Michael Jackson, just like Mariah Carey, he has a whole holiday to himself. All right. So yeah, when that month, that Halloween month starts up, you see people playing Thriller. You see people dressing up as Michael Jackson. And I'm like, I ain't never seen nobody dress up as Beyonce for Halloween, like, and so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, people really need to look at the facts between both artists before they ask a question like this, because it is going to open up a giant debate. But I think it's always going to end off with, yeah, Michael Jackson had more of an influence in the world and stuff. You don't see Beyonce impersonators, you see Michael Jackson impersonators. We ain't seeing a Beyonce movie coming out later on this year. We're seeing a Michael Jackson movie coming out later on this year. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, people need to really look at the facts and look at, like, you could put Beyonce, like, get her biggest moment of her career and then compare it to Michael Jackson. It's like, fam, that, no. And that's another thing too. So how Michael Jackson, like, cause at one point in time, his concert tickets was like going for like what, $16, $20 or something like that. Like, it wasn't going for a whole lot. Do you see Beyonce, like, let's just say if she wanted to get put in that conversation of being, better or bigger than Michael Jackson, do you see her charging $16, $20 for her tickets, or the mortgage payments that you have to pay to go to one of her shows? Because yeah, I think it was Beyonce where I remember it was like her tickets were going there. They were a lot. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I think I would rather, get a DeLorean and time travel and go see Michael Jackson live, and that's another thing too. Like, I remember hearing it from people where they said that they would cry at Beyonce's concerts, and and that's one of those things. I'm like, yeah, that music, it hits you, and then yeah, it's just I guess you get the crying. People were passing out. Michael Jackson, this man, he is up on the stage. I can't really do the stance right now, but like, he's standing on the stage like this. That man turned his head like that, and people were passing out. I ain't never seen that before. That's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, you could get anybody that's on that same, like, where I guess like people listen to their music a lot, like, yeah, Beyonce, Taylor Swift. I'm trying to think of some other Bad Bunny and stuff. They ain't up there with Michael Jackson. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, those are good artists. They're just not up there when it comes down to Michael Jackson. All right. Like that man is in the league of his own, but just like all the other artists, I guess like if there was an artist comparing themselves to Beyonce that isn't Michael Jackson, it's like, okay, you're in the league of your own. Beyonce is in the league of her own. Same with Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, and everybody else. It's like everybody's in the league of their own. I guess like if you guys are like, I don't know, I can't really say if it's like if you guys are doing the same music, because either way, still, it's like you guys are in a league of your own. So yeah, man, I just think that, with conversations like this, people need to understand that it's like music isn't supposed to be a competition. It's like it's supposed to be something for the fans, but I just think that at times fans don't appreciate the music. It's like people are trying to figure this question out, and it's like, fam, well, why not just listen to Beyonce? Why not just listen? Or what artists? I guess, excuse me, whatever artist that you find yourself listening to the most. Now I'm like, okay, that's the bigger artists and stuff, but that's in your category in Spotify and Apple Music playlists and stuff. But I guess speaking for the rest of the world, yeah, there's a lot of people that are not going to agree or say yes, Beyonce is bigger than Michael Jackson. Now you can ask your parents that. You could ask somebody that don't really be listening to me. Well, I don't know too many people that just don't listen to music. That's just weird to me. But yeah, overall though, I'm like, there's a lot of different answers that could come out of this question. I don't feel like we would ever get the legitimate answer, because it's going to be Michael Jackson fans going up against Beyonce fans. So that's why I'm like, I just don't think that this is a question that deserves, like, I guess like if it's a logical neutral answer, then yeah, but overall I think if people are trying to seek validation for Michael Jackson or Beyonce, it's like, fam, they're both established artists. That's all that matters. So I only even think, and I just think that if you were to sit down Beyonce and if Michael Jackson was still alive and ask them like, oh, do you think you're bigger than this artist? It's like, fam, I already did what I needed to do. I already, like that. Beyonce is Beyonce. Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. What reasons do they have to be competing with people? So that's why I'm like, yeah, if like, I guess like more so, like if I could like put in an example and stuff, that's like if I were to try to like get into music and things and then was trying to be bigger, it's like what do they, or it's like, or yeah, if it was like a competition between the both of us, it's like, what do they have to prove? I'm the one that has to prove something. I'm the newer artist. So but yeah, it's like when you're trying to put a legendary artist up against another legendary artist, it's like, fam, it's kind of like that conversation with sports where it's like with Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James. It's like, yeah, those guys are in a league of their own. They broke records, they did things, but they're legendary basketball players. Same with football, soccer, and every other sport out there. There's always going to be those legendary people, So I guess, I don't know, maybe if they were all like, is NBA YoungBoy bigger than Michael Jackson? No. That is a fat no. Even with Beyonce, it's like not really, like, but you want to give out a more elaborative answer and things. But yeah, with somebody like, no. I'm trying to think of some other people out there. 6ix9ine, is he bigger than Michael Jackson? No. I almost cursed when saying I was like, I was feeling it and things, but am I bigger than Michael Jackson? No. I'm like, people don't even know me for music. People probably don't even know that I do music. So that's why I'm like, yeah, fam, it's one of those things where no, it's just there's some people that when you try to add them to that conversation, yeah, you gonna give out the most realistic answer. Yeah, it'll probably be a 6ix9ine fan or an NBA YoungBoy fan. Like, oh, he's much bigger in this. Yeah, they just saying that because they're a fan. I guarantee. I promise you, before NBA YoungBoy, they knew of Michael Jackson. It wasn't like, oh, I was born into this world knowing NBA. You didn't. NBA YoungBoy, when did he start making music and stuff. And there's no disrespect to him, but it's at the same time, it's like you gotta be realistic when you answering questions. Yeah, there's like he started making music in 2015. It's like he's not. You can't, I guess like get into the game late, like compared to Michael Jackson, people they were still listening to his music in 2015. So yeah, it's like it's one of those things where it's like you can't have years of like, and no, that's the thing. He does have NBA YoungBoy 6ix9ine. Those guys, they do have years of music, like experience, I guess, in music. But at the same time, it's like Michael Jackson, though. Like this is somebody I feel like if Michael Jackson was still alive, the conversation surrounding his music would definitely be a lot different. So. But anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Let me know in the comment sections what you guys think about this. Do you think Beyonce is bigger? Do you think Michael Jackson is bigger? But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and peace.